the regulatory framework between the two countries, and I go back to the example of the Bharti deal and things like dual listing and so on and so forth, do you believe as the Indian government wants to make a big surge into the new continent, everything, not just telecom, we are seeing such a big surge, for instance, in agrarian activity, you know, in farming, in cultivation and so on and so forth, in food procurement. Are there regulatory framework, do you believe, that needs to be re-looked at, if not changed?
See, there you're going beyond the purview of my ministry. I mean, certainly what we do in the foreign affairs side is more the political opening of doors, and certainly our embassies and high commissions send messages which I know are as much of interest to the Commerce Minister as they are to this ministry. But the fact is that when there are specific steps to be taken like that, there are other ministries whose purview it is, and they will have to take a call on it.
Let me also ask you, in real terms, since we hear so much about Africa, suddenly, at least in the last 1 year, in your mind, from the purview of your ministry, what is the real opportunity? Because obviously Indian trade, and you know, the fact is that we keep hearing about Indian trade being boosted by different countries in different spheres of the world. So somebody will come and say, you know, China is the biggest thing in the next decade, and somebody will say Latin America is. But what in your mind is the real opportunity and the quantum of opportunity in Africa?
It's unlimited, literally. I mean, the potential is huge at all levels. There is the classic trade, the buying and selling of goods and services. There is investment possibility, and you're quite right in mentioning agriculture as one. There are vast areas of land ready for cultivation where the skills, technology and resources are not available in those countries. I've been speaking to the president of Liberia, for example, which is a rice-consuming country with lots of suitable land and plenty of rainfall, but which still imports rice. If Indians who are so used to growing rice here can go in and set up ventures in Liberia, it will be welcomed in Liberia. We have a huge horticultural program in Ethiopia, whereas an Indian private businessman who used to be growing flowers in Pune is now growing flowers in Ethiopia and exporting them to Europe from Ethiopia.
And has become, if newspapers reports are correct, become the the rose king of the world, operating.
He's certainly the rose king of Ethiopia. Yeah. I don't know whether he's going beyond that to the world, but that's also happening. Then you've got the, you know, the classic, if you like, governmental lines of credit. A government wants to set up a factory of some sort. They come, the Indian government approves a line of credit. They then purchase Indian goods. And so you've got that kind of investment as well. But then you also have things like mines. Many African countries are rich in mineral resources, which Indian companies can fairly bid for and get. And those are minerals that we need in India. Phosphates, uranium, all sorts of stuff, in addition to the classic, you know, gold and copper and coal and so on and so forth, that kind of mining. So literally the potential is unlimited. Many African countries have also gone through a difficult time in recent years, civil wars, conflicts and so on. Some of them are also going through a transition. The ones that have not had conflict are going through a transition from government control to privatization. The opportunities are just manifold and multiplying. And I think that our Indian business should really take a serious interest. I'm very pleased at the tremendous turnout at the India-Africa conclave in Delhi this week of Indian businesses as well as African businesses. But it's still only the tip of the iceberg. There is so much more potential, so much more useful networking that can be done. Oh, we were present at the London conference. We have good bilateral conversations with the key players in Afghanistan. Many of them do consult us on issues and keep us informed of their thinking. So I'm not at all concerned of quote-unquote India being left out.